Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic. In today's video, so I made a video a few days ago about MC Sham, and in order to make that video I had to do some research about the YouTuber, and I was going through his channel and I stumbled on this video.
I am mixed race. I do find it's definitely like a progressive thing to be mixed race, because there's been a lot of sort of race wars over the centuries. There's this thing called the mixed race effect where it sort of dampens down racism, and I do find it's a blessing to be mixed race, and I wouldn't be any other race. I would 100% always want to be mixed race.
I found this video very intriguing. Why? Because I've never heard this argument before. The idea that people of mixed race, people who are half black, half white, should be designated their own separate race in its entirety. Once again, I've never heard anybody discuss this. Why? What do we do when we want to find information out? We go online, and when we go online, we go on social media. The largest social media platforms are all American. They're dominated by American content creators, and thus a lot of those people who are of mixed kin from the United States always use this one drop rule where they see themselves as being black. So I understand why this question would arise, and I definitely understand why a video like this would be posted by MC Sham, somebody who is vehemently pro-black. If you go to his YouTube channel, you will see the people that he adores. None of them are light-skinned. They are all of my complexion and his complexion. Beautiful people, by the way. So I understand MC Sham wanting to promote this, because he himself doesn't believe that people who are of mixed race should be calling themselves black. So I was actually going to do a live because I really do want to hear your guys' opinions on this. I know that the vast majority of the people that watch our videos are African American. It would be interesting to hear from their perspective what they think about this video. Do they think that this woman is actually making a point, or do they believe that it's just another confused mixed race person who is struggling with their identity? Should mixed race people be designated as a completely different race? Well, we're going to try and answer that question today. First, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification, and please consider supporting the channel on our Patreon, link in the description. I think it's important we go through this video, just take a listen to what she has to say a little bit more to see if she makes any sense. Take a look at this.
I embrace both sides, and if other mixed race people don't embrace both sides, then they have an identity crisis, in my opinion. Both of my parents are mixed race, so therefore I identify with mixed race people. And that's true. The majority of my family are mixed race. A lot of them are mixed race, like me. I don't just come from like half black, half white. There's like a lot of mixture. It's kind of similar to like the people in Brazil, like the mulattoes from Brazil, or like the colored people from South Africa. Oh my gosh, I said colored. Someone kill me right now.
Okay, so it's important that we actually had to listen to this part of her story personally. So she has a father who is mixed race, and her mother is also half black, half white. So she has come from two mixed parents who have, of course, made a mixed child. Now, this is very interesting because this is not the norm. Okay, you don't get to see this very often. You will in the United States of America, because there are a lot more African Americans who have a lot more admixture in terms of European DNA inside their blood. The African Americans tend to have lighter skin, whereas here in Europe you will see people like me, and you will see people like MC Sham and everybody else. You'll see us, we have darker complexion because our parents, our forefathers, I don't know why, for whatever reason, we just didn't tend to mix with anybody else.
So therefore, I do identify with just being mixed race. That's how I've grown up. I've always grown up in a mixed race household. Of course, I do have my white family and my black family, but all I've ever known is to mix with both because I am mixed race. People won't really ask me, where are your parents from? They'll just assume again that my parents are black and white. And then when I tell them, no, my parents aren't black and white, my parents are like me, they're just mixed race. And then do you know what they answer, you guys? They say, that means I'm black.
I don't think there is much wrong with what she's saying. I think where the confusion lies is that you have this woman, she is of South African descent. There is an actual race of people in South Africa called the Cape Coloureds, and it looks like that is where her parents have come from. Now in America, she would not be classified as a coloured. She would not be classified as somebody who is mixed race. In America, they would classify her as being black. No ifs, no ands, no buts. And I think that there are a lot of people who have a problem with this because all of a sudden that part of their ancestry is, the European part of their ancestry, has been forgotten. It's been wiped out, almost like a sense of shame. In America, you have a lot of people who are simple-minded. This is no offense, but if you take a look at the people who went to America in the first place, you had the Pilgrims, you had the people who were poor European people. Okay, these were not educated, they weren't the best of the bunch. Oh goodness, I don't want to say anything nasty, but these are people who could not make it in their own lands. So they are going to the United States of America to find the American dream. Anybody of any colour that looks a certain way, you're black. Nice, quick, simple, boom. Sit in that box. I can understand where she's coming from, right? But the problem she's going to have here is that there is differences between the two races, both culturally and ethnically, right? We are miles apart as people, People who come from the African continent have a different state of mind. So it is likely you are, as a woman of colour, you are going to be accepted into your family of African origin more so than you would be, especially in South Africa. If you have white South African family, you're not going to be accepted by everybody. In fact, there is a good chance that there is a lot of conflict going on in her family, but perhaps more so in the past. I think she is looking at it from a point of view of privilege, really. You have a girl here who has two mixed race parents who are from South Africa. So they have family, they have siblings, they have people around them who also went through the exact same thing as she's going through now, except that it was probably illegal for her parents to have a relationship. So I think that's where a lot of people of mixed race sort of align themselves with the dark side as opposed to the European side, because we were just better at accepting people, unfortunately.
If two of your parents are mixed race, does that make you black? No. Does that make you white? No. Does that make you maybe mixed race? Yes, it does. I literally just don't get some people's logic. Like, these are girls who are academically clever, you guys. But when it comes to common sense like this, or racial matters that are so simple, they cannot fathom it. They struggle to find the middle ground on things. So then I told her, no, it means I'm mixed, not black. And she went, oh yeah, that's true, isn't it? Wow, Deborah with the A star. Yes, it is.
It's funny that she's showing pictures of Alicia Curry and Stephen Curry, because these two are both ethnically African American. I'm not sure. I've seen Stephen Curry's mother and father. The mother is also of mixed heritage. Although she is very light skinned, she is also of mixed heritage. And the father, Del Curry, he is an African American who definitely got a large dose of European DNA inside him. You can understand why she's trying to use them as a for instance, but it doesn't really work in this case, because in America they just do things totally different. I think it's more important that you sort of stick within the guidelines or the rules, so to speak, of the location of where you are living, because you're just going to confuse yourself.
It's kind of like, use your common sense. Like, use your mathematical sense. Again, I do feel like people, when it comes to race and mixed race people, they like to just think of it as half and half. Like, I don't even know whether I'm half black or half white. I actually don't know. I'm going to have to go back into my history to see who was the first black person and who was the first white person in my family. Because again, they've married other mixed race people and it's just, yeah, it's just entangled. Not everything's 50-50. Newsflash.
Yeah, it once again, very confusing, and I can understand this girl's young, right? She's still at school or still at university. She's a kid. It's really important that you, oh my God, I don't really want to get onto the Americans, but America is a totally different kettle of fish. You really, if you're looking for guidance in terms of race relations, the United States of America is the worst place to look. And if you look at the United States historically, along with other countries who had rules and regulations governing those people of our kin, then you can totally understand why this is the case. It's not about using your common sense. Listen, if you really want to use your common sense, you would understand that there is no such thing called a black race. It exists only in the minds of people who are simple-minded, okay? There is a video that I watched. I can't remember the name of the scientist. I'll put it below. But he was talking about the races, the different races in Africa, okay? If you was to bring somebody who is from one of the pygmy tribes in Central Africa, and you know, I think pygmies are what, they stand around 4 foot something, really short people. They're really short people. You bring that person to a European American, and then you brought somebody who was Nilotic, yeah? These are actual races. They're not ethnicities, right? If you was to bring somebody who was Nilotic, you bring that Nilotic person to that same American. You ask them which race these two people are. They would say they were the same race. Clearly they would, because they are very simple-minded. Okay, this is how they've been taught. They've been taught that brown color, one race, one people, which is wrong. I would really do my best to learn more about American history, American culture, and how it has proliferated itself via social media before I even look at myself and look at the way people judge me. I think that people should just be comfortable in their own skin and understand who they are, and understand that there are people out there who are getting their education via social media, okay? They're not going to even question the validity of the information that they're picking up off social media. They're just going to pick it up and say, oh, that must be the case. Sounds logical, right? Whatever sounds right to people, they're just going to go with that flow. I'm bringing up 2 young mixed race children at this present moment, and they will understand about their history and about their background, about their culture. And that's going to have more of a bearing, you know, being Jamaican culturally and my partner being Balkan culturally. Okay, that's going to have more of a bearing. That's going to be more important for us to teach our children about that before race, because race is really not going to affect them as much as it would do if they were brought up here in Europe, because we're not expecting to bring them up here in Europe. Actually, this is part of the reason why we're not bringing them up here in Europe, because we don't want to bring them up around people who are just, you know, misguided. So guys, what do you think? Do you think that mixed race people should have a race of their own designation in its entirety? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It'd be really good to hear your opinion on this. I love being in this skin. I cannot tell you how much I love my blackness. And I think it's important that if you are of mixed race, if you really need to know, find out who you are. Find out about your background. Find out your history first. Do your own research into your family. You are the person who is best placed to do so. And unfortunately, it's likely that you're going to have to explain to the ignoramuses exactly who you are and where you've come from. Until the next time, please think twice. Ta-ra a bit.